Hello y'all, set to achieve. Welcome to another video. And today I want to talk about the fact that the pain that you felt or the pain that you went through was not for you alone. Okay, the pain that you went through was not for you alone. Okay, and I was actually reflecting on what I went through in nursing. I'm trying to look this way. Yeah, I was thinking about like a lot of the comments that I was getting. Like a lot of people were getting breakthroughs and just even just talking about like what they've been through. You know, everybody was not a nurse, and some were therapists. One that told me that they were a therapist and had to like take some years off and were doing Lyft, the ride share app, to survive or, make money and just a lot of things. So I know, and I know that like what I went through was not like a waste, because at first, I felt some kind of way like sharing. And that's the reason why like I never told anybody, like even when I left healthcare and started doing hair initially before I started doing delivery apps. I did not I didn't let any of them know, my customers. I think it was like only one out of like hundreds know that I was a nurse. And the only reason why I let her know was because I had some kind of like change in schedule that didn't allow me to see her the time that I could see her anymore. But anyway, yeah, so the pain that you feel or the pain that you've gone through, even the ugly ones, even like the like real bitter, sad ones, the one that made you cry, your career, even in your personal life, is not for you alone. It really is not, and that's one thing that I'm realizing, because it's like it's causing a lot of people to open up and just like speak their minds, and just comment about like what they have gone through, and that's a release, and that's a blessing for me, but anyway, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I want to be putting out more content and just like uplifting and motivational, and just point blank, like, how I'm thriving, and yeah, even like the ugly stuff, because, a lot of times like we feel like the only thing that should be glorified is our triumphs, our victories. And then everything else should be kind of like swept under the rug so nobody can see and everybody can think that we're perfect. But I think that it's in our imperfection that the beauty comes out, because people can see that, wow, so this is where you came from and this is where you are now, and I'm really like grateful to be able to just like make like a lot of women especially see that, they have to take a chance on themselves. I did a video called Better Yourself, and it's just like, better yourself, I mean, what is the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? So yeah, the pain that I went through, just even like with what I went through, my situationship or marriage with the narcissist, it was not for me alone. I know a lot of people have gotten breakthroughs, and as a matter of fact, a lot of the content that I did right after the breakup, so this is like almost 2 years, has been on narcissistic abuse, because I mean, there's people right now that are in those kind of situations, relationships, and even job situations that it's like they feel like, their value has been so stripped, or seemingly stripped, because I mean, your value can never go out, but it's like you've been made to feel like you can't do better, you can't have better, nobody else will look at you, nobody else will, you're not gonna thrive, you're gonna crash, and that's the mentality that a lot of people have, and just being in a place whereby I'm able to motivate people. I mean, the video that I did talking about the fact that I went from nursing to delivery driver, it's now at 45K. 45,000 views in 6 days. Or I think today's gonna be day 7. So in like a week. Okay? And this is even more than the video that I thought went viral. This is like double. Okay? Because that other video, and this is, mind you, this is my first 2 videos that have ever gone viral. The first one was talking about how much I make with delivery with the 2 apps. And this one talking about leaving nursing for a delivery driver. And that one like blew up. Like I think at a point yesterday I was at like 1.1K per hour views per hour. You know, and yeah, so, and getting so many comments, even comments under comments, you know, people interacting with each other. And it's just like, wow. When I did the video, I didn't know that all that was gonna happen. I didn't know that the, you know, the breakthrough that happened, you know, people thanking me for sharing, people talking about their situations, people talking about their suffering, you know, one telling me that she'd rather be homeless than go back to healthcare. I mean, it was that bad. I don't know if I would, you know, rather be homeless, but yeah, I there's no going back, you know, to the glory of God, you know. But I don't know. I just like, I feel like I feel energized, you know, because I mean, for a lot of people, like public speaking is like, I mean, they'll rather like do any other thing than public speaking. But to me, I feel like, I feel like I'm doing something, you know, by telling my story. I mean, I feel like, I really feel like, especially since, because of a lot of the breakthrough that I see in other people's life. Even the Bible talks about the fact that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony, you know? You know, when I was going through those dark, dark days, a narcissistically abusive situation, marriage, very like demonic, very dark. I mean, there were good days, but like the days in between, there was so much more dark days, you know, just feeling just uncovered. You know, when you're in a narcissistically abusive marriage situation, partnership, you feel uncovered, you feel exposed, naked, you know, you feel like you're open, you're left open for anything to come in, you know. And I think that's the same way you feel like when you're in a toxic work situation. You feel exposed, you know, you feel very, very vulnerable, you know. And, you know, and when I did the video yesterday talking about, what was the video about? The fact that I was burnt out within 6 months. Somebody commented that the fact that I felt like I had to push through nursing school, even though I didn't feel like it was for me, even though I was seeing a lot of red flags, that itself was a red flag, you know. And I thought about that, like what she said, what the commenter said, and it, like it almost brought tears to my eyes, and I was like, wow, you know. So it's like actually it's like therapy for me, because it's like looking back, and I have never mentioned nursing ever on this channel, ever. You know, I talked about like I have like 500 plus videos on this channel, you know, and this is real. I think it's like 540 something, like 500 plus videos, because I've been on YouTube for, yeah, over a decade, you know. And the fact that I've never done a video, not even one video talking about the trauma that I went through in nursing, says a lot. I've been hiding it. I've been hiding it, you know, and Satan wanted me to hide it, you know. He wanted me to hide it, you know. But the Bible talks about how we overcome by our testimony. We overcome and we cause others to overcome, you know. And sharing your pain is not being negative. You know, that's what the devil wants you to think, that, oh, you're being negative by sharing your pain. No, you're giving people breakthrough so they can know what is on the other side and they can decide for themselves, you know. Because it's like when you are able to see the truth, you can't, you know, when you're going through certain things, nobody can tell you that, oh, you know, or you can't tell yourself or lie to yourself that, well, I didn't see any red flags, nobody told me, because now the truth is opened, you know. there is a lot of evil in the nursing industry, healthcare in general, because there's a lot of greed. There's a lot of selfishness. There's a lot of self-seeking. You know, and as a matter of fact, like a lot of the facilities that I went to, like I really felt, like literally felt a demonic atmosphere. Like it felt like death. Like literally, like it smelled like death. Coming into the facility, the smell of feces in the air, especially in the facilities like skilled care nursing homes. It just like felt like a dead end, you know? And there was no amount of money that you could have paid me that would take away the feeling of like death, like literally like death. And even though I'm making a fraction of what I would have been making in nursing, but it's just like, I actually feel alive. Like I actually look forward to the days. There's no price that you can put on that. I actually look forward to, like I look forward to tomorrow. When I was in nursing, I don't look forward to the next day. I was depressed all the time. I don't look forward to the next day. Why? And I strongly feel like there's a lot of like blame shifting, underappreciation, devaluing, very cutthroat type, clique formations. And man, it was. And I remember one of the skilled care facilities that I worked with, there was like one of the workers that was like a male nurse. He was very, very diligent, and yeah, very, very diligent, with his work, like one of the ones that I would say I admired, and he, yeah, like, so it was some days that like they were saying that like they didn't hear of him, and he was very prompt, very punctual, always on time, did his work, and even like his handwriting was very neat, and it was like 3 days they didn't hear from him. He didn't call off or any emergency. So they called the police to, I guess he had his address or whatever, when he, got employed. So they called the police to go to his residence, and they found him dead. And I don't know. It was just like, well, it wasn't that long that I left that place because yeah, I didn't like the vibes. Whew, yeah. Yeah, it was, and so, I'm just here to say that the pain that you feel, the helplessness that you feel, and now I'm able to talk about what I went through and give somebody else a breakthrough, and of course there are people that, have done it for 18 years, 20 years, 25 years, 50 years, and it was their calling, But what I'm here to say is that do not let family members, and my family members were just about all in healthcare, pressure you into thinking that, and the whole thing was, oh, go for healthcare. There's money in it, But as a child of God, and now that I'm closer to God, I know that if God has not called you for something, it doesn't matter who has influence over you that pushes you into that thing. You are going to be, let me just say that you're gonna have hell to pay. You're gonna have hell to pay. So yeah, so that's what I've realized, about my life. And yeah, just the fact that I'm able to touch other people's lives. One told me that they always had like a knack, like it was always in them, like a calling to help people. So for whatever reason they went into nursing, and the anxiety attacks were so great, the panic attacks, and just the dread of each day, you know, was so hard and was so horrible that they like literally, like they literally quit nursing like cold turkey and went for hospitality, like working in like hotels. And yeah, they said like they're so much more peaceful now and they would never go back. Like they know that they're called to help people, but not in that way, not in healthcare. So yeah, so just realize that like if for whatever way, whatever shape, whatever means you're able to tell your story, whether it's through via a letter, whether it's via or a PDF, whether it's via a book to help others, whether it is a YouTube channel like this, whatever platform, or your TikTok or your Instagram, whatever platform that you feel comfortable or you prefer to tell your story, just remember that it's no longer for you. The pain that you went through, whether positive or negative, is no longer for you, okay? Because one way or the other, you've overcome. Because if you're able to tell your story, you've overcome, okay? So, you know, and that's why I encourage people to just leave your comments, you know, tell about your story, tell about your you know, whatever it is that you've been through. Because yeah, I kept this unlocked. This is like just the first video I talked about nursing, first video, it went viral. First video, it went like viral, like compared to like what I was getting before. Yeah, it went viral, and that's my only second viral video, and it went much more viral than the first. You know, so that lets me know that what I was doing or what I've done was for, yeah, that like I strongly believe that God has a smile on his face, you know, and the devil has a frown on his face. Okay, so just remember that it is not for you alone. Don't listen to the naysayers that are saying that you're spreading negativity. No, you're telling your story. Okay, and there's nothing negative about telling your story and giving somebody else a breakthrough. Yeah, there's nothing negative about that. Yeah, so yeah, just remember that it's all for the greater good. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to put out more content. I'm gonna try to lift more people up and talk about nursing, talk about whatever, talk about delivery, you know, talk about just my feelings in general, you know, and how I'm able to navigate other things, you know, talk about adding multiple sources of income. If you have to quit your 9 to 5, whatever you're doing that is toxic right now, to help to build you up, so that way you have time freedom. Because I always say that time freedom is more than money. Just talk, and I feel that the more you do it, the better you get at it, you know. So every video is not going to go viral. Some might have a few views, some might have 1,000 views, some might have 100 views, you know, a couple of 100 views, right? But the most important thing is that you put it out there and it's out there, you know. And yeah, you know, put your hashtags or, you know, whichever way, and people are gonna see it. People are gonna follow you. Somebody's gonna resonate with your content and relate, you know. And yeah, you know, I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, if you are new to the channel, again, go ahead and subscribe, join the family. I'm gonna put out more content to uplift more people, and the most important thing is just being open to understand, you know, and understanding that your pain is not for you alone. Your victories are not for you alone. It's for the world, okay? You can be a gift to the world. All right, so like the video because it helps the algorithm share it to more people. Until next time, God bless. Peace.